Sup After Darkers, I'm Sterling LUXX, and this is Rogers TV, our new home of Kelowna After Dark. We're gonna be making this amazing show, but today we got invited down to see what's up about the people who also make local content. We're gonna go interview some of them, see what's going on, and let's do that do. I'm now here with Manfred, and he's got a 20-year plaque, even though he's been doing this for like 31 years. How did you get this? Tell us all about it.
Well, that's a wonderful story. Very in brief, 1993, had just come out of northern Alberta and living in the Blue Jay subdivision. My wife is cooking a meal, I'm watching the television, and there in front of me is this man with a cowboy hat and a silvery beard, and he's talking about music. Come to the concert, come to the show, come get your tickets, blah, 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 blah. And I finally waited long enough to find out. Beard, cowboy hat, perfect teeth, rock and roll, come to the show. And then there was Buddy Knox. I said, what? That's one of my heroes. Boom! I was at the concert and it became Manfred Changeover. I had gone down to the Shaw studio and talked to the people in Vernon. What can I do to be involved in your community programming? And Rennie said to me, what would you like to do? I said, well, I can play the guitar and I can do a program on how to teach the guitar. This was before the YouTube.
Yeah, that was a big deal. That was like the only platforms that you could really be on is local television. That was anything that was in reach.
You should have seen me. I've got 20 years of VHS. And here is the twit sitting there with his guitar and a pencil and a yardstick and an easel with his charts on how to play a G7 demented 14th flat 9th 5th chord, and talking to nobody there except her, him, camera people, yakking away a mile a minute, nobody to talk to. But the following week, I brought a statue, a Greek statue. I put him over there, I put headphones on him, and I started talking to him. I needed a guest.
That's a great idea. I really like that.
He didn't talk much back, but he listened to what I had to say. 3 weeks later, I had a live guest, a female blues guitar player, Renette Maki, now in Vancouver. She was my first guest, and then things changed, and Shaw changed and altered, and I stuck with them, and I came to Kelowna to try and do some things then and there. It worked out for a while, and then things changed again in the dynamics of the family, of the business, of the wonderful people that were Shaw. At that time, it was time for me to go to India. So I went to India, to Benares, which is one of the oldest cities in the world, and out there, over there is where they're burning all the dead, and I'm out in the boat with some other important people. I was important on that trip, and off in the distance, on the Ghats, along the hillside, I had a shock.
A shock?
A shock.
What do you mean by a shock?
Right. A mile away, there was a building with a big hand-drawn portrait of Bob Marley. In the middle of India, I said to my wife, I said, that's Bob Marley on the building. And then it came to me.
Okay.
If he can do that, if Bob Marley can say hello to the whole entire world from that place in India, which is the oldest city in the world, one of the oldest cities in the world, if he can do that, I can go back to Shaw and reinstate myself. But by then it was turning into Rogers. I made a phone call after I came back from my second trip to India, and I said to the people in Rogers, it's me, Manfred. Can I please come back and continue with the shows? And you know what they said?
What's that?
Meet you at the A&W tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock. True story. True story.
Solid win.
Two Rogers people came. I signed some more papers, and as they say in the West, I'm back in the saddle.
And what is it that got you into vlogging, and specifically travel vlogging?
That's a great question. Back during the COVID era, the dark days of that time, we just would love to get out and explore, and we started filming our adventures, and then we're sitting on all this great footage, even drone shots, and then you ask yourself, well,
What do you do with it?
What do you do with this?
Yeah.
So that's where we began video editing, and it consumed a lot of our time.
Yeah.
And we wanted to get out there and really feature some of the adventures and share that with our friends and family. And that's where it started.
That's cool. Who's the hardcore editor here? Who gets to stay up till 2 in the morning getting stuff done?
Okay, so Tom does most of the editing, but I help him with the music and a little bit of putting the pieces together.
I like that. I have the same dynamic with my partner. What is the best place that you've been able to vlog locally? Like, if there's a place that you went through locally that you made a show about, where are you going to tell people to go?
Yeah, we'd have to say is the Boundary Country. It's an extension of the Okanagan, even though we're from here. We've made many trips out to the Grand Forks area, and it's a fascinating area. Places like Greenwood or the forgotten city of Phoenix, as in British Columbia. But there's a lot of history that relates to mining, smeltering, outlaws, bandits, everything. It was a melding pot of Americans and Canadians all in this boundary area. It's a beautiful country, a lot of history, and we found that a lot of viewers just love those videos.
I'm here with Domenic Rampone, and he's going to tell us some awesome stuff about what he does with Rogers TV. Domenic, telling me a little bit about yourself and what kind of legend aspects you bring around Rogers Television.
Well, I think I really am proud to be part of a historical family or pioneer family, because we've been here from Italy to Kelowna in 1893, and went through mutual friends. Kenny, a local producer in Kelowna here, approached me about doing a segment on farming when BC Tree Fruits Packing House went under, and that was really interesting to bring the forefront that sort of historical background of BC Tree Fruits. In August, the Okanagan Valley, particularly Kelowna, it's the latest place in the world that you can buy sweet cherries in the planet. A lot of the real big cherries go to Taiwan, and they get picked in the morning and shipped out that night to Vancouver, and they're on a plane to Taiwan. When we pick the cherries, they're picked by hand, and then they're hydro-cooled right away. Then they go under a computer screen, and the computer screen takes 8 pictures of every cherry inside and out at a speed of 36,000 pounds an hour.
Wow! That's a lot of data just built up just from pictures of cherries.
Cold water that the cherries go under, and then they go under the computer screen, and then a poof of air tells it which box to go in based on the parameters that are put in the computer. But then when they go in the box, it's a white bag that's like this inside the box, and that is a modified atmospheric pressure bag. So when the cherries are stored 2 degrees above freezing, it emulates the atmospheric pressure that the cherry's still on the tree, and that's why they can last for a long time. There's like 30,000 temporary farm workers from Mexico in the Okanagan in the summertime. That's what it takes to pick all the fruit. 60 or 70% of all the cherries in the world started in Summerland.
And that's a wrap, Kelowna. That was your backstage pass to the wonderful world of community television and Rogers TV. Back to you, Sylvan, in the studio, planning your world domination with glitter bombs and all those lovely hugs and kittens.